Today we will be doing a music, art, and motion project on the Polar Express by Chris Van Allsburg. In music, we'll be working on tempo and dynamics using jingle bells. In art, we are going to show balance through creating a project the students design. And in motion, we are going to learn to work as a group using locomotor movements.
So after the class has read the Polar Express, we will take a few minutes for the children to kind of talk about the main ideas and how we could incorporate music into the story. Once we've identified different ways to incorporate music, each child will be handed a pair of jingle bells and will be given a few minutes to kind of explore the different sounds that the jingle bells make. So they can do loudness or softness or speed or just kind of how to make them make different noises. So once they've been given a few minutes to figure out how to make the sound, we will talk about two different aspects of music. The first being dynamics and the second being tempo. So we were going to do dynamics first, and collaboratively the entire class will create a piece using dynamics to kind of help work through one part of the story. So for example, if you used the end of the story when it talks about how all the children can hear the bells when they're younger, but then at the end of the story, the boy who got the single bell from Santa is the only person who can hear the bell. So if we're talking about that part, we would start with it being really, really loud and then slowly getting softer, because then he's the last person who can hear the bell. So once the children have worked through their part of the story that they came up with and we have conquered dynamics, we would move on to tempo. And tempo is the speed. So for example, if they wanted to talk about the part of the story where Santa's sleigh takes off, we would start really slow and we would build, and it would be faster and faster because the hooves are running faster so that they can take off. So once we've conquered dynamics and tempo, the students who are need to be more challenged would have the opportunity to combine both dynamics and tempo to create a whole different piece. They could also incorporate melody or rhythm or anything like that. And the students who need to be helped would be given an opportunity to kind of go back through one of the two that they don't completely understand, either dynamics or tempo. Once all the children have used the bells and they've worked together to make a piece, we would open discussion to talk about how music worked to create kind of a sense of what the story was trying to say and why that worked and why that helped. And at the end, the students would write a reflection on what they learned and how they could apply what they learned to either a different story or a different aspect of literature or art or anything like that.
For our project called The First Gift of Christmas, we're basically just having the kids make a present because it's Christmassy and fun. So we started out with a box and wrapped it. We just used the opposite side of this wrapping paper just so they can decorate it and it's nice and plain. We did a ribbon for them so we got them to this point, but we could have them wrap it in the classroom. We tore up green and red tissue paper to decorate it with, and then we already have pre-cut ribbons. And then we are going to have the kids make a plan of what they want their present to look like. So they basically just make a little blueprint. And then once they're done with that, we would just start decorating our project. Okay, so that's what they want theirs to look like. Perfect, and we already got them this far, so give them their box. And in our lesson plan, we said that you could use magazines or just whatever you have in your classroom, but this is what we had handy. And also the hot glue gun is not child appropriate, so we would give them just like liquid Elmer's glue or a glue stick. So you just let them decorate however they want to stick stuff on there and decorate it. And whatever materials you have available are fine to use. Alright, so for our project, we titled The First Gift to Christmas. We said it was for 3rd grade, and the lesson that we wanted to teach was balance, so you can kind of just go over the definition with the class of what that is before you do it, ask them some questions about what they think balance is. So you can basically just ask them what do you think balance is, let them give their answers, explain the correct definition, and praise them, of course, if they got it right. And then you just explain that you need balance, like with symmetry, and then just make sure that the colors go well together and that they're kind of spread out and that equal attention is given to each principle of art. And then basically just let them run with it with their own idea, have them draft it, and then come up with a finished product. We also said it was for 3rd grade because they need to have the freedom to plan it and come up with something they want to do and then actually put it into action. So that's it, our finished product.
After doing the art and motion parts of our lesson, the students will be ready for some movement. For our exercise, we decided to do a modified version of the Indian run. The Indian run is typically seen at sports practices, and it consists of all the players lining up in a single file line, running forward, and then the person in the back spins around the others to try to make it to the front of the line. In our version, which we have named All Aboard, the students will be reenacting the scene in the Polar Express where the boy is hesitant to get on the train starts leaving, he changes his mind, and then he has to run after the train and jump to climb aboard. The students will be prepared to do the game by discussing what they know about trains. We would ask questions like, who has seen a train? Or who has ever been on a train? Then, we will discuss how, when trains first start up and start moving, they are very slow, but as they keep going, they get faster and faster until they reach their moderately fast speed. We will then ask about when they remember seeing a part of the train in the book, and will then draw attention to the part that we are reenacting in the game. To start the game, the teacher will take the students into open space, whether it be the hallway, outside, or the gym, and have the students line up. The students will start the game walking slowly, but throughout the game should slowly progress until they end up in a moderate jog or fast walk to be like the train. The student who is trying to climb aboard the train will pick whatever locomotive movement they find fit to make it to the front. When every student makes it to the front, the game can be over. We would then go back to the classroom and discuss why the game was similar to the train scene from the Polar Express. We would have them reflect on modifications and things they did or did not like. Some we came up with for struggling students were that we could have the train stay at a slow pace the whole time, or we could have the train make steps so struggling learners could make it to the front. To challenge the advanced learners, we could make them conductors and have them control movement and pace, like fast or slow, or skipping versus walking of the train. We could close the lesson by talking about fitness, and then can use fitness and exercise to tie it together with the next lesson.